Hey folks, welcome back. Today's video, I'm going to kind of attempt to tie together some of the concepts I've been talking about on this channel here lately. All the cage stuff, some arpeggios, just various things I've been talking about. I want to try to tie them together a little bit. I also want to say that I kind of got inspired to put that piece together that you heard at the beginning of the video. Kind of got inspired to do that by another YouTube guy named Chris Buck, who I'm a real fan of his playing. He's a British blues rock guitarist. A lot of you may be familiar with his work. I've been watching some of his Friday Fretwork series lately, and he composes these pieces that he puts up and plays solos over them. And I thought, well, that'd be kind of something cool to do, and to kind of demonstrate that maybe I can actually use these techniques myself to actually concoct a solo. And that's not to say that I'm thinking about technique when I'm performing or ad-libbing a solo. It's just that learning those techniques go into you being able to ad-lib like that. It's kind of like learning to talk. I heard another guy talking recently about how it's kind of like, probably Tim Pierce, another guy I watch, about how soloing, when you really, have your techniques underhand, it's kind of like speaking. You don't really think about forming your words as you're speaking them, or the syntax in your sentences and your grammar. You're not really consciously thinking about that stuff. It just becomes automatic. And that's kind of the place you want to get to eventually with technique when you're soloing on guitar. So I attempted to do this. It's taken me several days to put together the track, practice soloing over the track. And I was thinking, dang man, how does Chris Buck do this so fast and so well? One thing, he's a really great guitar player. But he just recently had another video out about the truth about his soloing and about how he actually used to take 20, 50, 100 takes to get one of those one-take solos. I didn't know that till I'd already put this solo together with this piece you just heard. And for lack of a better title, I'm just calling it, Are You Gonna Eat That? I don't know, I was just walking my dog one day and thinking about the track and what will I call it? And that title just popped in my head for no good reason, and I thought, well, that's as good as any. So it's called Are You Gonna Eat That? But I really enjoyed putting the whole thing together, and I plan to start doing more of this. But as I say, it's kind of time-consuming for me. Chris Buck says he can put together actually perform the backing track, record that, mix it, and then go through his process of coming up with solo ideas for about an hour before he picks up a guitar, which I do recommend as well, and then performing anywhere from 20 to 30 solos before he gets one that he actually is happy with. And so he claims he does all that in 12 hours, and I don't doubt him. All that took me about a week, so I'm a little slower than Chris, obviously, so I won't be doing one of these every Friday, or every week for that matter, but I do plan on doing them fairly regular now, and getting a little trove of backing tracks that you guys can download from my website and practice with yourselves. So anyway, to dive into this thing here, I just want to first lay out kind of what the chords are doing in my track. The basic intro is just 6 minor chord, which I'm playing blues scales over for the most part, but 6 minor for like just rocks on for 4 bars. Then the verses, which are double verses every time, stays on the 6 minor chord, 2 bars, and it goes the 4/7, which is C7. Now, actually, let me clarify here before I get off too far into this. Another thing which I plan on doing a whole video about soon is how I consider the key when I'm writing charts and this comes mainly from my being a songwriter in Nashville for 30 some odd years now and using the Nashville number system. Early on, I used to try to write, if the song was in a minor key, 30 years ago, I'd try to write it 1 minor, and then this would be a flat 6/7. That would be a flat 7/7 back to my 1 minor. I just found out it's a whole lot easier if every time you're writing in a minor key, at least for country music, this bears true. if you consider that's 1 minor, a 6 minor in the key of its relative major, which would be, in this case, G major. So that's why I'm calling the E minor that the song starts out in, and bass is the basic tonality of the song. I'm calling it a 6 minor because I'm charting this thing in G. And so it's a 6 minor in the key of G, 1, 7, 6. So I'm going for the 6 minor, and then 2 bars on the 4/7, which is a C7. Then just that old kind of blues thing, you know, almost kind of like a fiddler's gone, fiddler's gone. You know, the turnaround at the end of that song. Well, that turnaround is basically my entire verse here. 6 minor, 4/7, 3/7, 2 bars, back to 6 minor. Does that whole bit again. Then the chorus walks up to 2 minor, which in G is the key of A, which in the key of G is A minor. 2 bars there, then 3/7, which is B7 again, down to 6 minor, E minor. Then it goes up to the 4/7 again, C7, walks that down to A7 or 2/7 in the Nashville number system. Then back to the 3/7, which is the 5/7 for the 1 minor if we were calling it a 1 minor. But we're not. We're calling a 3/7 back to a 6 minor in the key of G. So, as I say, I will put a whole video out on the theory behind 1 major relative minor, and how I think it's a lot easier to think of a chart in the key of its relative minor as opposed to a 1 minor. So anyway, so that's my basic progression here. And so what I'm doing is basically I'm starting out with I can't remember. Started out with something like that, and just a basic E minor pentatonic scale, and I'm mixing in some blues scales, that kind of stuff, you know, what I call barking. And anyway, so in amongst those kind of licks that I'm doing, that right there, when it goes to that 4/7 in the verse, I'm kind of hanging out on that. If you're calling it in the E minor scale, like 1, flat 3, 4, sharp 4, flat 5, that blues up, that blue. That's a real cool note to hang out on, in my opinion, in this kind of a progression. Goes down to the B7. So another lick I know I hit in here, which kind of it's more of not an E minor pentatonic, it's more of a E Dorian mode, which would be a D major scale with E as your tonic. So there, all I'm doing is stretching that. Because up here it's easier to see within the pentatonic scale because you don't have the open strings to deal with. It's like an E minor, an E minor, not E pentatonic, guys, I'm sorry, I keep misspeaking, but an E Dorian mode in the key of D, which fits with an E minor pentatonic scale. In an E Dorian, and a Dorian mode, of course, is like a natural minor with, instead of the flat 6, you have the natural 6. Still the flat 7. So you have 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, natural 6, flat 7 octave. So here, if you were looking at this up an octave, I'm playing the going to that 4/7 chord, then back down to 3/7. Now what I'm doing, I'm stretching that note there up to where it's out of the Dorian mode there. It's more in the, but it becomes that B major third and that D dominant 7 chord. And then I go back into the E minor pentatonic. So basically in the verses here, I'm just using a pentatonic, blues scales, and also doing arpeggios in here. I know in between, on the turnaround between the two first verses, the first double verses, I think I do that double octave arpeggio. Sorry. It usually takes me a while to warm up to be able to play that, but I've recently adopted a different fingering with that. Instead of just playing all pick, I'm actually going pick all the way up through. See, hammering on there, playing those two, hammering on there. Then the B note I'm picking with my middle finger, and the E note I'm picking with my ring finger, so the high E. So gives me time to get my hand up here and to get my pick back down there. Then back to the pick, back to the fingers for those two open strings. So anyway, that's how I'm playing that, and I'm just kind of putting that in the middle there. Then I'm going back into So just a mixture of pentatonic and blues scales, as well as the Dorian mode in here, mixed in with some of the outlining of these dominant 7 chords. A little bit of that kind of thing. Then when I go into the chorus there, I'm kind of, it goes to the 2 minor, the A minor. I'm kind of flipping up to my neck pickup there, go. And sliding down on that one string. So I kind of, took me several times playing through this. The first 20 some odd versions I did of it, I actually just continued playing blues notes through the whole thing. And listening back to it a few times, I decided, well, that's kind of boring. So I think I'm going to try to come up with a melody for the chorus, which I did, which is this. Let's see here. Then I go into an arpeggio that's a diminished arpeggio out of this note here. And I land on the tonic of that next chord, which is the E minor chord. So once again, that's a... Then I'm flipping it to the treble pickup again. Bridge pickup. Then I'm going into a C7. Now we're up to C7 here. A C7 dominant arpeggio out of the E position, E cage position. And then stretching that. Now I'm here. Kind of in the C tonic position here, guys. I'm a C pentatonic position here. With the, you could play a little bit of that in there if you wanted to, but I'm just kind of trying to do it quickly. Then that goes down to that A7, so I'm bending that melody all the way down to where it hits on that A note. And then it goes to the same original melody. And then on the A7 chord. Then I'm going back into for the B7 on the end, kind of a 6th. All right. That kind of a sliding of 6ths around. At the end of it, I'm on the same thing going down instead of up. Something like that. Which is all just based around caged 6ths, which I will get into with you here soon. So anyway, this is just a few of these techniques that I'm using in the solo on this song. And like I say, I'm doing a little bit of what I call barking occasionally on the verses, where I'm going. So Roy Buchanan's a guy that I originally heard do that kind of thing, and Jeff Beck does a little bit of it every now and then. It's just when you just kind of take it like a pentatonic scale. I'm just actually stroking the pick downward. What I'm doing, I'm using the just your basic pentatonic, but I'm just pulling that note off, back picking real quick, and then I'll pull off there. So same thing, those two strings. So you can kind of mix those together and get some kind of interesting sound sometimes. Also on the second verse, I'm using this pentatonic lick that I learned from Tom Bukovac's channel last summer when he first started. He had this, it's like a 6-note thing, where he's just taking E minor pentatonic. Starts on the top E note there, and you go down 6 notes, go back up to the B string, down 6 notes, and back up to the G string. And you put it all together. I've been practicing that. I haven't practiced today, but trying to get quicker with it. I've been practicing that as I do practice it. I go to all the 5 of the pentatonic case positions to do it as well. And I'll put a video out on that soon too. So that's another one of these techniques. It's a pentatonic technique that I actually picked up from another guy, Tom Bukovac. So those are a few of the techniques that I used in the solo to my original composition, Are You Gonna Eat That? Once again, guys, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and then hit that notification bell so you'll be sure to get notified anytime I put a new video up. And I'll have part 5 of the Caged Arpeggio series coming out next, I think, or at least in the next couple of videos. And once again, I really appreciate you guys watching. You'll be able to download this backing track that I performed to on Are You Gonna Eat That? You'll be able to get that on my website. I'll put a link up to that in the description. And I'd like to thank everybody as well. I just recently, a week or so ago, passed the 500 subscribers mark on my YouTube channel. I know that's not setting the world on fire, but I do appreciate all of you who are watching and hitting that subscribe button. And please do comment in the comment section, and I'm still at a point where I can answer all those comments, and I'll probably be there for a while. So I'd love to talk to you guys, and eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to start doing kind of a live thing here too. So guitar on.